Begin with a newish, very short poem, which is appropriate to the Beat Festival today as it references my teenage years as a baby beatnik in Washington, D.C., wearing white lipstick and writing bad poetry. So it's called Old House. Home was cramped, its walls painted the pale blue of disappointment. The disarray so alarming you could count on it. Anxieties piled so high you could sweep them up every day, and there would still be plenty to go around. I swept, I waited, I grew long hair, small breast, wore black tights and read Ginsberg and Donne. I marched and searched for sex. I grew, I swept, I waited, then left. I was done. This next one is also newish, but it's part of an ongoing series called Long Marriage. It was written last summer at the Napa Valley Writers Workshop, and this one's for Jeff, and it's called Short Emails, Long Marriage. Yesterday you wrote, "Temp 57 here, grim and gray. Are you still mad at me?" Today I reply, 89 here, crayon blue sky. Of course not. I was just, annoyed. XOXOXOXOX. When we talk tonight, you will tell me of your morning reading in the garden, that the hummingbird's nest is still intact, the green gauge plums now ripe. I may remind you to buy charcoal and eggs for the weekend. I may forget to remind you. You may forget to remember. Once, you remember, we wrote long letters on thin blue paper. And once, on a February morning decades ago in Kentish Town, the condemned house where we slept in the room you had painted orange was so cold that a small spill of water on the kitchen lino the night before had become a miniature frozen lake. And you, pouring us mugs of milky Nescafe, slipped but did not fall. This is a longer poem, but I've made a few cuts for time. And it's also part of a series that I call the Grammar Series, which is another obsession of mine. And I chose it also because of the wildfires, because this one begins, it was started a year ago, begins with the fires around Los Padres National Forest, and of course now we have our latest catastrophes in the North Bay. What else? Oh, that's it. Long title. It's called Inferno Dreams, Declensions, a Love Poem, a Rant, a Pop Quiz. Also, it's written for all of you current or former English teachers. I'm sure there are many of you. 1. Dreams of an underslept night after the lunar perigee. We're camping in an unnamed wilderness. Air fiery hot. Tall grasses begin to ignite on their own all around us. Our alarm spreads like water. Sudden flash sparks, yet we have no water, no water, no water. News the next morning of the Soberanis fire, which has already scorched more than 24,000 acres near the Los Padres National Forest and will continue to burn for months. It's early in the California fire season, but the 5th year of a multi-year drought. No mystery. 2. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Why do nouns in some languages but not others decline? Why were some 300 Iraqis blown apart by bombs as they celebrated the end of Ramadan in Baghdad? Why the carnage in Istanbul, Paris, Nice, Orlando, Kabul, Munich, Minneapolis, Chicago, Baton Rouge, Aleppo, Cairo, Manchester, and Las Vegas? Fill in the blanks. 3. Consider the possible uses of the instrumental. In Russian, for example, one might ask, "What's the matter with you?" And the you, whether the intimate or formal you, another story, takes a different ending, wears a different outfit from you, the subject. 4. Humor me. Ponder a personal favorite, the dative, a gift, so to speak, from the verb to give. The indirect object, a tweaking of the noun to reflect the status of the lucky or unlucky recipient, depending. In English, we still decline pronouns, at least those of us over 40, unlike the teenager who proclaims, "Tyler and her went to the movies." Later, she gave him a blowjob. Correct use of indirect object. But I digress. Gonna skip 5. 6. From high school Latin, a case in point. Nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative, etc. What honest, self-respecting noun would not wish to tilt ever so slightly to announce its syntax, its change in status? A chance to eliminate the cumbersome of, as in the death of, when you can replace it with the simpler, classier genitive, or the sexy accusative, je t'adore. 7. Old lady that I seem to have become when I wasn't paying attention, a mystery. I continue to name my own subject and object, lowercase, to allow my skewed, declining, skewered desires and memories to swarm like honeybees, like thunderstorms or snow, quietly, as quiet as an empty suitcase. I rest my case. And the last one, it's called Dance Tunes, and I'm actually going to read this for Bob Dickerson, whom I've known since our hippie commune days in Arkansas. It's got to be like 45 years or something. Who knows? Anyway, this was also started, this was written last summer just after Hillary gave her acceptance speech, if you can remember, a year ago. And I begin with a line from the late, great C.D. Wright, who says, "It's a poem if I say it is." Dance tunes. The hour between 5 and 6 p.m. can be stressful because art is essential, like planting purple cauliflower this week or watching the candidate make history. And because once we were girls with barrettes and braids, then bras, until we burned them. In the early 1970s, we could no longer call each other girls. We ponder this as we finish our zucchini fritters, drifting into private movie reels of that era, our hippie commune SDS anti-war early feminist days, the last 4 decades now collapsing into each other, melting into the afternoon heat. The lacunae are part of the music, and if it weren't so bloody hot, maybe we'd get up and dance. Linda Ronstadt on the AM radio. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. Wasn't there always someone you had in mind when she belted that one out? But don't leave your soul lying on the pavement. Shake, shake, shake your shabby heart. The lyric needs you.